Welcome to Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN, presented by Taco Bell. As Carl mentioned, it is Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. David Ortiz is in the Mother's Day spirit. As the Red Sox get set to take on the New York Yankees, you will see a lot of pink in the ballpark here tonight. Mark Teixeira, Starlin Castro, and the Yankees trying to sweep the Boston Red Sox. Friday night, it was a close game, tied at 2 until Aaron Hicks homered in the 7th to break the tie. And then it got a little bit crazy in the 9th when David Ortiz objected to one and eventually a second strike call. He and John Farrell both got tossed. The Yankees won the game. Yesterday, a little bit more breathing room. The dormant Yankee offense broke out. Didi Gregorius, a 3-run double. Carlos Beltran, a 2-run double to knock out a struggling David Price. And it's an 8-2 win for the Yankees over the Red Sox. Hi, everybody. Welcome to New York. Dan Shulman, Jessica Mendoza, Aaron Boone. Happy Mother's Day to you.
Mother's Day.
And Booney.
The Yankees playing a little bit better. They've won the last 2. The pitching has been good, and they're hoping that continues tonight with Luis Severino.
Yeah, Dan, if you're going to pick one guy in this entire Yankees roster that has the upside to make an impact on this team, it is Luis Severino. Why? Because behind Masahiro Tanaka, there has not been a starter in this rotation that has been able to consistently step up. Severino is that guy. Look at last season. 5-3, 2.89 ERA. He has more losses this year than he did in his starts last season, but he's the guy right now. He's 22 years old. So much potential there, and I believe tonight is the night that he locks in, has the command, and has that control of his emotions, and gets it done.
There are only 2 active knuckleballers in the major leagues. One is R.A. Dickey of the Blue Jays. The other we're going to see here tonight, Stephen Wright of the Boston Red Sox. Fortunately, we've got an in-house expert on hitting the knuckleball. Baseball fans may remember my friend Aaron Boone hitting a rather significant home run off the knuckleball. What kind of challenge does this present?
Well, this is a fun night for a hitter because conventional wisdom out the window. Your normal approach, game plan going into the game, out the window. It's more akin to when you were playing in the backyard with your brother or your buddies playing wiffle ball. And the adage I used to use was I wanted to see the ball up because in a lot of ways, you're at the mercy of this pitch. Even he doesn't know where it's going to go sometimes. But I feel like as a hitter, if you make the ball be up, you're more inclined to get a mistake, and that's when you can do some damage.
The pitch has been a curiosity for decades, and all kinds of people have weighed in on what it's like to deal with a knuckleball. Willie Stargell talks about, a great hitter in his time, talks about how hard it is just to throw a knuckleball for a strike, with a great quote back in the day. Bob Uecker, former Major League catcher, Hall of Fame broadcaster, says the best way to catch it is just to wait until it stops rolling and then pick it up. And Charlie Lau, one of the game's all-time great hitting coaches, says there are 2 theories on the knuckleball. Unfortunately, neither of them works. We will see how the Yankees make out against the knuckleball of Stephen Wright here tonight. Maybe in the stands they're getting together and putting aside their differences tonight if you're a Red Sox fan or if you're a Yankee fan, but it's not going to be that way on the field. We know that for sure. A lot of moms and kids in the ballpark here tonight. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. Glad you're with us tonight for Sunday Night Baseball. We've got one of the game's great rivalries, the Red Sox and Yankees, coming up.
But I'm still the biggest fan, 'cause she made me who I am. So
and cheesy double beef burritos. You asked for them. Taco Bell brought them back for just $1. And in part by the new Chase Freedom Unlimited. Night Baseball on ESPN is presented by the Beefy Crunch and Cheesy Double Beef Burritos. You asked for them. Taco Bell brought them back for just $1. And in part by the new Chase Freedom Unlimited card. Earn 1.5% cash back on everything you buy. And Corona, who invites you to find your beach. Welcome back to the Bronx. We are here at Yankee Stadium. Final game of this 3-game series. Bit of a cool night tonight here on Mother's Day as the Yankees get set to take on the Boston Red Sox. 22-year-old Luis Severino will be on the mound tonight for the Yankees. And time now for us to check the starting lineup for the Boston Red Sox, presented by Taco Bell. And Jess, this is the highest scoring team in the American League.
They are, and you pick your poison. Starting off with Big Papi in the cleanoff spot. Now, this guy leads the team in every power category, but his numbers versus the Yanks. I mean, he hit his 50th career home run Friday night. He steps it up to another level against this team. Then you move it on down to the 8th spot. Jack Bradley Jr. on a 13-game hitting streak, batting .340 with 11 RBIs. He had a big home run last night.
As mentioned, the Red Sox offense is the best in the American League. That's why they're dancing around in the clubhouse right now, feeling in the dugout, feeling good about themselves. 5 runs per game on the season. That leads the American League. They're getting on base at a high clip. They have the highest batting average in the league at .282. They lead the league in OPS. And coming into play today, they actually led the majors in stolen bases at 24. They'd only been caught twice. So a tough task ahead for 22-year-old Luis Severino. Was so good last year, a .289 ERA in 11 starts, but a .631 ERA in 5 starts this season. Aaron, what do you see as the difference?
Well, I think when he's getting ahead of hitters, he doesn't have a put-away pitch, and he has the equipment to do it with his slider and his changeup, but not throwing enticing pitches to the hitters and then commanding that fastball. The next step for him.
As you can see, pink sleeves, pink bats, pink masks, pink gloves. You will see a lot of pink in support of the fight against breast cancer, a great initiative undertaken by Major League Baseball. Mookie Betts will lead it off for Boston. And the guy that his manager John Farrell described as a perfectionist takes outside 2-0. Farrell told us before the game he can hit the ball right on the screws, but if it's at somebody, winds up in their glove, he feels he's done something wrong. Ball 3 as Severino falls behind. Severino's only walked 5 in 25 2/3 innings coming into the game, but he's been hit at a .333 clip so far this year. 37 hits in 25 2/3, and he misses badly outside again, and he walks Betts on 4 pitches. And right away, Brian McCann, sensing a little bit of trouble, is heading out to the mound.
And you mentioned only 5 walks so far in the season. So command doesn't always show up necessarily in bases on balls, but command in the strike zone, which as I said, is the next step for Luis Severino. It's just been a little off in there. 4 pitches just simply trying to get that fastball to the outer half. Could not do it.
Betts with good speed, 7 for 7 running. 7 steals and 7 attempts this year. The batter is Dustin Pedroia, who takes inside ball 1. Pedroia having a good start so far, hitting over 300. 4 home runs, using the entire field, as we talked about on the last couple of Sunday nights that we had the Red Sox. He is really using right field and right center very well this year.
Almost half his hits have gone to opposite field, and he'll even take a pitch on the inner half, which isn't always classic Pedroia. You can tell he definitely has an approach to stay inside, not be afraid to go with it.
Second baseman Castro shading Pedroia up the middle just a little bit. They're at double play depth with a man on here for the Red Sox, and finally the first strike of the night for Severino. A 3-2 win for the Yankees Friday night, an 8-2 win for the Yankees yesterday, in spite of some injuries that have fallen upon them in the last few days. Swinging bunt that will wind up eventually foul. Good decision there by Severino to let that ball go.
Looked for a second as though he might try and pick that up and wasn't going to have any chance of getting Pedroia, so a good choice to back off.
So Pedroia back to the plate for the Red Sox. They've been a good first inning team this year, not quite as much recently, but John Farrell's team has done a lot of damage early in ball games. The lead by Betts at first.
Dan, this is one of those counts where he's now ahead in the count against a righty. More often than not this year, if he goes to the breaking ball, it's been a non-competitive pitch, meaning hitters aren't even really flinching at it. He isn't getting that chase that you'd like to see. And there's just a fastball that out of the hand is a ball. But if he at some point goes to a breaking ball here, most great pitchers, strikeout pitchers, will make it appear as though it's a strike, and that's when you get those awkward swings. Too often, out of his hands, hitters are recognizing it as a ball and enabling them to get back in the count.
2-2 on Pedroia. And there's a breaking ball down and away. 3-2. The count now full, to your point.
I think sometimes a young pitcher, you'll see them when they get ahead and they want that strikeout pitch. They kind of get amped up and they're going to make the nastiest pitch, or they're going to overthrow a pitch and it turns into a mistake, or sometimes out of the hand a ball and the hitter's able to lay off.
Runner is going. And the 3-2 swung on, hit high in the air to right field. It's taken to Beltran back all the way to the wall, and it's gone. An opposite field home run for Dustin Pedroia, and the Red Sox have a very early 2-0 lead.
Very patient at bat by Pedroia, and you could tell he was looking fastball out over the plate, something that he could drive. We talked about his opposite field power that he's had this season, but look what he does with this fastball. It's up over the plate. Does a nice job with that top hand, just getting through the ball. And honestly, this is probably a pop fly in most ballparks, but he picked the right spot to hit it just deep enough here at Yankee Stadium to get it to go out.
Maybe a foot over the outstretched glove of Beltran. There's a very slight breeze blowing out to right field, and that might have been just enough to get that beyond the reach of Beltran. And now Larry Rothschild, the pitching coach, is out, just trying to settle down his 22-year-old starter, Luis Severino.
Well, because it's not a bad pitch. I mean, it's a 3-2 pitch that he gets just a little bit too much over the heart of the plate, but it's a pop-up. And Pedroia is underneath the ball, so he's probably just telling him, keeping his confidence up.
This has been a tough situation for the Yankees, not expecting this from Severino after how well he pitched last year. Joe Girardi talking to us before the game about, you come up as a rookie and nobody really knows that much about you. The expectations aren't quite that high. But then when you have the success that Severino did last year, now you come into year 2 and the expectations are a lot higher. And maybe struggling to deal with a bit of the hype and the expectations. Big things expected from Severino this year. I think most people, guys, kind of penciled him in as the number 2 starter in the rotation behind Tanaka.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to put that kind of pressure on somebody, but I do think he is that important to this team if they're going to reach their potential, because the equipment, the ability is there for him to be a top of the rotation starter, Jess.
0-2 the count on Xander Bogaerts. And a swing and a foul tip held by McCann for out number 1. And now the first at bat of the night for David Ortiz. And it was quite a scene here on Friday night in the 9th inning, with the Yankees up a run when the 3-1 and 3-2 pitches were both called strikes. Ortiz didn't like either of them. He appeared to especially dislike the 3-1 pitch. He got tossed out after the 3-2 when he went back to the dugout, then came back out on the field. John Farrell got tossed out as well. Fastball right down the middle for strike 1. The Yankees would wind up winning that game had either of those pitches been called ball 4. The bases were loaded, so a walk would have forced in the run and tied the game. The stakes were high. Ron Culpa, who's the umpire at second base tonight, was the home plate umpire on Friday night. Here's the 0-2, and it's down low, ball 1.
The first look at the changeup there from Severino. Fastball, slider, changeup. The changeup is a pitch he does have a lot of confidence in to throw for a strike. But here's a great example. Another hitter that he gets 0-2. Now 2 pitches down and out of the zone that out of his hands. Hitters, and especially good hitters like Pedroia, Ortiz, they see it as a ball right away. It's never a thought for them to chase as that ball bounces well out in front of home plate.
2-2 just up and away, and from 0-2 to 3-2. Again, furthering your point. Ground ball to first for the second out. Well, for those who may not have seen it, let's go back to Friday night and show you what we were talking about a little bit earlier. This was a big situation. The bases were loaded, 1 out of the 9th inning. The Yankees up a run. There's the 3-1 called a strike. Ortiz can't believe it. John Farrell comes out. He gets tossed. Then on the next pitch, Ortiz gets called out on strikes. He eventually comes back out on the field. John Farrell comes out to get him. Now, Farrell had already been ejected from the game, but he hadn't left the dugout yet. He came back out on the field, and you wonder if there's any discipline coming from that. But that's about as angry as I think any of us have ever seen David Ortiz get in a ball game.
Well, because it's a great at bat. I mean, he's 3-1, and he gets a pitch that he lays off of, and you can tell he wanted to pull the trigger. He lays off of it. I mean, the pitch was so good it even messed up the catcher. And you look at his reaction. Then 3-2. He lays off a ball that's out of the zone. I mean, you can see in that moment, he feels like, I mean, it was either going to be a walk or a hit. You felt it.
So, Aaron, your contention was the 3-1 pitch was actually a pretty good pitch. It just had so much movement that McCann had to go down so deep to get it.
Yeah.
It looked worse than it was? Or?
It looked worse than it was, but the way he caught it, I think you got to ball the call. And then, like Jess said, to lay off the 3-2 pitch, I'm swinging at that because I'm a less of a hitter. But you're facing one of the toughest lefties in the sport in that spot. In that situation with the bases loaded, to have the discipline to lay off of that pitch in that situation, he recognizes, man, I just had a great at bat, and the umpire took it away from me.
And that's what fires you up, because when you're in that moment, you're locked in and you're rewarding yourself, and instead you don't get the call, and it really costs you the game.
Hanley Ramirez on an 11-game hitting streak. Swings through a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. It's 2-2.
I mean, the electricity of his stuff just leaps off the screen. He's 95, 96. It has that kind of late explosion to it. His slider, when he has depth on it, when it's going more north and south, is a nasty pitch, and the changeup is an absolute factor for him. It's just about him getting that consistent delivery ironed out, and the sky is the limit for this kid.
Fastball there for strike 3 call. Inning over. But the Red Sox have an early lead thanks to Dustin Pedroia. He goes to the opposite field, and he does it with power. His 5th home run of the season, just beyond the outstretched glove of Carlos Beltran. And the Red Sox have an early lead. Here at Yankee Stadium, Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN, and the Red Sox with an early 2-0 lead on the Yankees. Let's take a look at the Yankee lineup tonight. Brought to you by Taco Bell. They broke out for 8 runs yesterday, but overall, Aaron, they have been struggling to score runs this year.
Yeah, one guy that has not been struggling is Starlin Castro. His first year in Yankee pinstripes, and he's been outstanding, leading the team in batting average and RBIs in that 2-hole tonight. And then Aaron Hicks, with Alex Rodriguez on the disabled list, Jacoby Ellsbury down, he's going to get some regular at-bats, and they hope those regular at-bats will translate in the success he's shown in the game so far in this series.
They've got a unique situation to deal with here tonight. 31-year-old Stephen Wright, one of just 2 knuckleballers in baseball. R.A. Dickey is the other, and he has been the Red Sox best starter this year. He has pitched to a 1.67 ERA in 5 starts. The guy originally drafted by the Indians in the 2nd round back in 2003, became a knuckleballer in 2011, went to the Red Sox in a deal in 2012, and get used to that. In and out of the glove of Ryan Hannigan, who's got the toughest job in the ballpark tonight.
This is just a get it in there one. Just the first pitch, want to get a nice strike in the heart of the plate, flutter away, and get ready to do some work tonight, Mr. Hannigan.
It's an unfair statistic to say that Ryan Hannigan has more pass balls than any other catcher in baseball, because if it's not Ryan Hannigan or Josh Tolley, there's going to be some sort of an investigation, because they're the only 2 guys who catch knuckleballers. Blake Swihart caught Stephen Wright's first 2 starts. Hannigan has caught the last 4. He's been charged with 7 pass balls. Hangs on to that one for strike 3 called. Well, we want to send our best wishes to our good buddy and our co-worker, Buster Olney, who is a little bit under the weather today. He's been texting me. I know he's feeling pretty good because he's texting me with information as we got on the air tonight. But Buster, hope you're feeling a little bit better than you were yesterday, and we're looking forward to seeing you next weekend out in Los Angeles.
Yep, get well, buddy. You know he hates not being at the ball field.
Yeah, for Buster not to be here.
Yeah.
He's missed.
Here's Starlin Castro. Castro's been the best hitter this year for the Yankees, the most consistently dangerous hitter for the Yankees. The former Cub has come over, gotten off to a very good start. He's hitting .295 in the season, .349 over his last 12 games. And so far, Stephen Wright is doing nothing but throwing strikes. 5 pitches and 5 strikes with that knuckleball. He appeared in 16 games with the Red Sox last year. 9 of them starts. Went 5-4 with a 4.09 ERA.
Just watching, I think the reaction of hitters is the best way to tell a pitcher in a great knuckleball. I mean, Castro, just these 3 swings that he's had. The first one, he missed it by probably 6 inches. And that last one, just trying to throw his barrel out at it to waste it.
0-2 again. And a ground ball to the right side. One hopper to Pedroia for the second out. Now look at the grip that Stephen Wright has on the knuckleball, which of course is not really thrown with the knuckles. It's thrown more with the nails. And the idea, as I think all baseball fans know, no spin, as little spin as is possible.
And that's what makes it dance. That ability to kind of move and have movement, not just left to right, but as Stephen Wright talks about, the importance of it going down and having that depth as well.
I mean, the amount of break on it in the last few feet, Aaron, is unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, that's why as a hitter, you know, I used to try and take some of the weight out of my legs, and you just kind of move around in the box a little bit, and it's kind of like, I liken it to using the force. You know?
You just hope the lightsaber finds something, right?
You know,
so, yeah,
you just kind of, you know, man, I'm going to try and see this
Yoda,
thing up and
yeah.
hopefully we'll just walk into this thing.
When you think about Hannigan trying to catch it, we talked about it early already, but he's got his own mitt. Stephen Wright carries around 6 or 7 different kinds of mitts for his catcher.
McCann flares one to shallow left. It'll drop in for a base hit. Well, again, talking about what Hannigan is dealing with. On the left is his regular catcher's mitt. On the right, you can see how much larger it is the mitt that he will use, or one of the mitts that he will use to catch Stephen Wright's knuckleball.
And you got to appreciate Stephen Wright. He understands how difficult it is. That's why he carries around 7 different gloves, because when he gets a different catcher, he says, you tell me, this one's a little more broken in, this might not be, like, just to give them the option of what feels comfortable.
Well, and he's using a black mitt tonight. We've seen him with that white mitt that we had the picture of. So he's definitely kind of sampling these
Still
things
figuring it out.
and getting the one that he definitely likes to use. It's more akin to a kind of a first baseman's mitt.
And here's Mark Teixeira batting from the right side against the right-hander Wright. More on all of that later, but the fielder's choice ends the inning, and at the end of one in the Bronx, the Red Sox have a 2-0 lead on the New York Yankees.
trying to.
Top second here at Yankee Stadium. Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN. The Red Sox leading the Yankees 2-0 as Travis Shaw sends one foul down the left field line off of Luis Severino. If you weren't with us, a Dustin Pedroia home run in the first, accounting for the scoring for the Red Sox. It'll be Shaw, Brock Holt, and Jackie Bradley Jr. 6, 7, and 8 in the Boston lineup as Severino misses just outside. Shaw, an impressive start with the bat, hitting .306, 3 home runs, already has driven in 17. Slider down and in the dirt, 2 balls and a strike. Severino, although he throws as hard as he does and has both a slider but a changeup in the high 80s, down near the bottom in terms of things like swing and miss percentage. Guys are squaring him up and making contact more than you would think. There's a swing and a miss on a good hard 91-mile-an-hour slider, and it's 2-2. Now the Yankees crisscrossing a couple of their infielders as the count changes, as Headley just went over on the second base side of the bag, on the right side of second base. Full count. And he got him.
Well, we've already seen tonight, at times you see the high end, what Luis Severino can be, but you also see what's been a struggle so far, and that's been the command of that fastball. First 4 pitches of the game, balls, leads to the home run to Pedroia, but then he dials in on 2 outstanding hitters and just dials in the fastball to both sides of the plate, down in the strike zone, and you really notice the electricity, and he sticks it to some good hitters, all in that same inning where he had some struggles as well.
3 strikeouts already tonight for Severino, but Pedroia took him deep. And now with 1 out, here's Brock Holt, the Boston left fielder, hitting .284. And all of a sudden, Severino, as you say, Aaron, he is locked in.
I mean, bottom of the zone with the fastball, and then backs it up with a 91-mile-an-hour changeup that's tailing at the bottom of the zone.
.02, and it's there for strike 3 called. Back-to-back strikeouts to begin the inning.
And the biggest thing is he's throwing it in the same plane, that same tunnel.
Yep.
These last 2 batters, and you see with the strikeout and all the pitches to Brock Holt right in the lower half of the zone. So he backs up the changeup, comes right back with the fastball, the same exact location. And you watch Holt kind of hold up on it, expecting this pitch to maybe have a little bit more bite, taking something off of it. Instead, it's the fastball at 96, and it holds him up.
2 down in the inning. Here's Jackie Bradley Jr. on a 13-game hitting streak. Aaron, and hard to speculate, but it almost looked like Holt maybe was expecting a waste pitch because Severino so often misses on 0-2 and 1-2, and he got a fastball clearly in the zone.
No question about it. And the Red Sox are as good as any team at getting together and game planning and talking about a pitcher and what they're looking for. There's no question he might have been looking for something off speed or, like you say, a waste pitch in that situation. He dots him with a fastball at the knees. If you're buying stock on Luis Severino, I'm in. I think he's going to be a top of the rotation starter. Whether it happens now or he goes through some bumps in the road, remains to be seen. But the stuff and the athleticism to ultimately be able to routinely repeat his delivery is there. But that repeating of the delivery is something he is struggling with here early in his career.
Joe Girardi has the perspective both of being his manager and, of course, of being a former catcher for a long time at the major league level. There's a high slider, but it catches the strike zone, 2-2.
And I think that's when he throws his slider the best. And from his last start on Tuesday, he came back and threw that 14 times for a strike when he was behind in the count. That's when he's got the most confidence in it, not when he's ahead.
Gets him looking, and Luis Severino just struck out the side. 5 strikeouts through 2 for the 22-year-old. Up 2-0 going to the bottom of the second. We told you one of only 2 knuckleballers, but if you go way back, drafted by San Diego out of high school, didn't sign, went to the University of Hawaii and pitched well enough to be drafted by the Indians in the second round in 2006. 2010 started becoming a knuckleballer, turned himself over to that pitch full-time in 2011, traded to the Red Sox in 2012, made his major league debut a year later, has gotten some chances here and there, but this is the best chance that he's gotten. He's a full-time member of the rotation. He's pitching very well. He talked to us about the development of his knuckleball.
In 2011, when I started working with Candiotti, he was the one that was just like, dude, like, this is pretty good. Like, you just gotta, the difference between you and like Wakefield and Dickey is just innings. Like, you just gotta go out there and just throw it. And so at that point, I started like kind of really messing with it. And then 2012, I started working with Charlie Huff. And then he was the one that helped me like simplify that it can be done. You can throw it for a strike, and it's not as erratic as everybody sometimes make it seem.
So he mentioned 3 names there: Candiotti, Wakefield, and Huff. Tom Candiotti, Tim Wakefield, Charlie Huff. 3 successful major league pitchers who specialized largely or almost exclusively in the knuckleball. And it's a small fraternity, and there is a pay-it-forward element to this. Of course, Tom Candiotti pitched a lot with the Indians, so when Stephen Wright was there, he had the benefit of his experience. When he came to the Red Sox, he had the benefit of Tim Wakefield's experience. Wakefield pitching for Boston for so long. Carlos Beltran drives one to center, but righted Bradley one down. There have been some extremely successful, not many, but some extremely successful knuckleballers. Hoyt Wilhelm is in the Hall of Fame. Over 200 saves in addition to about 150 wins. Phil Niekro won over 300 games. He's in the Hall of Fame. His brother Joe had a terrific career as well. Charlie Huff, another very successful knuckleball pitcher. R.A. Dickey won a Cy Young with the New York Mets in 2012. We mentioned Tim Wakefield as well. Those are some of the most successful knuckleball pitchers that the game has ever seen. Phil Niekro won 318 games, and his brother Joe won 221 games. And the other thing about these guys, they pitch for a long time.
Yeah, you know, Tim Kirchin talks about Phil Niekro, who's, like you said, 318 wins, a Hall of Famer. Talks about him being one of the more underrated pitchers of all time, and that's saying a lot for how dominant he was throughout his career. The last few years struggled, but you know, it's interesting to hear them talk, and you hear about the fraternity that these knuckleballers are in, because there is this bias, this kind of preconceived notion that comes with it, that some organizations, managers are kind of reluctant to commit to the knuckleball because it seems so unpredictable. These guys work really hard to make it more predictable.
Well, and how you have to reinvent yourself, and I think that's probably been, when you mentioned the fraternity, Tim Wakefield being able to help. And you know, even talking to Carl Willis, the pitching coach for the Red Sox, you know, it's so hard for the traditional pitching coach to be able to help these guys because the mechanics of it are so different, so backwards. And one of the biggest points of emphasis that Stephen Wright talked about was that back leg, that drive leg, where your power comes from when you want the velocity. And for him, it's the opposite. So you're not going to see that drive. The finish, I mean, we talk about finish with Severino, right? Getting out for him. He talks about his palm coming to his front foot. Can you imagine throwing a ball and your idea is to take your palm down to the ground instead of coming out towards the catcher? I mean, there's a reason why they help each other.
Here's Aaron Hicks getting a start in center field. Jacoby Ellsbury's out with a hip injury right now, not on the DL, and they're hoping to avoid a DL stint for Ellsbury. Hicks is batting from the right side. He's a switch hitter, so 3 switch hitters in the and a 4th coming in Chase Headley, and 2 of the first 3 have hit from the right side against Stephen Wright. Carlos Beltran prefers to hit from the left side. Teixeira and Hicks, as we've seen, they want to hit from the right side against the knuckleballer. We'll see how Chase Headley plays it when he comes up. Some guys saying they just want to go back to their natural side. Almost every switch hitter was a natural right-handed batter. Ground ball back to the mound. Wright to Pedroia, on to first. Well done. 1-4-3. They turn the double play. Terrific turn by Pedroia. 2-0 Boston at the end of 2. New York 2-0 Red Sox. Time now for this week's installment of the Mendoza Line, which just takes us behind the scenes with a current big league ball player. This week, it's Didi Gregorius.
What a lot of people don't know about Didi is he is an artist. Since he was 9 years old, he learned art from his older brother. He'll spend 6 to 8 hours in one sitting. And he said it's similar to baseball in that he's a perfectionist, working on the details of his art. You see him there at shortstop, a picture of him up to bat, but he says what he loves about it the most is how different it really is. He said in baseball, when I'm playing, you're always thinking ahead, but when I'm able to draw, it's something I can really stay in the moment with and really not get caught out. I can erase. If I make a mistake, I can erase it immediately. He kind of had a big smile on my face. He's like, I wish I could do that when I'm playing.
Didi Gregorius also has been knighted. He was a member of a team that represented the Netherlands that won what was known as a Baseball World Cup back in 2011, and everybody who was on that team was knighted. Xander Bogaerts was on that team as well.
He speaks 4 different languages: Papiamento, Dutch, Spanish, English. His home country of Curacao. His mom was a softball player back in Holland.
And the three of us are struggling with one language and drawing stick figures.
The best is that he offered to draw this week. He was like, do you want me to draw something? Because he was pretty excited about being a part of, diving into it. And then, of course, he's playing a baseball game every single day. And he's like, I just couldn't get the 6 to 8 hour time slot each day to make something for you guys. My bad. I let him off the hook.
Slider taken down and away. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Ryan Hannigan. And the 2-2. Fastball hit in the air to right field. Righted Beltran, 1 down. Well, it is Mother's Day, as we mentioned, a very special day. And we've got a couple of people who want to say Happy Mother's Day to Miss Mendoza.
What?
Hi, Mommy. Hey, Mama. I love you. I love you. Happy Mother's Day, Mama. Hey, Mother's Day, Mama.
Now, I said there would be tears. He said there wouldn't be. I guess you.
Oh, no, I knew tears were coming.
I don't think tears are coming. Caleb and Caden, right? 4 and 2. She's speechless.
6 and 2.
6 and 2.
Yeah.
She's speechless. I like the Packer. I like the Packers outfit. That's good. Very strong. Happy Mother's Day.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hopefully that makes it a little bit easier to be away.
That was an awesome surprise. shocked me though. To see those 2 guys. Oh my god.
Oh, and there's more.
You're kidding me. Oh my god.
Can you see okay?
I love you guys. This is awesome. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
And I was all bummed.
I know. We figured. It's your first time going through this.
Yeah, no, and I mean, this is pretty crazy, but
can you get those on the plane tomorrow?
Game. Yeah, I'll just carry these on. There's nothing like being a mom, though, and seeing those boys. It's, oh, man, it's the best.
It's the best.
Holy moly.
Mookie Betts is the batter. Are they watching? Are the boys watching? You got the benefit of the time change out there, so are they watching this game?
Of course they're watching.
Good.
They think what I do is boring, though. They're like, you don't do any ninja moves or anything. So that was their recommendation. So
also bring some ninja moves to the broadcast booth next week.
You don't want to see my ninja moves. You guys get hurt. I got 2 boys I'm working with at home. I love talking to all the players too. So many mom stories going around today. I mean, it's amazing. Even talking to Didi, his mom's here at the game. Got a chance to meet her, talk to her a little bit, but it's pretty cool, the influence of the mom, especially on these young boys.
Hey, on all of us.
Even I met you guys.
Yeah, the old boys too.
Young boys.
Yeah. Pop up in foul territory for out number 2. I want to say Happy Mother's Day to my mom, Ellie, who's watching back home in Toronto. Huge baseball fan. She likes Aaron almost as much as she likes me, but not quite.
And my mom, Sue Boone, is at home watching, and such a huge part of my childhood, my baseball life, and so love her, thinking about her, and of course my wife at home with our 4 chitlins running around with them crazy today. Happy Mother's Day to you too, Laura.
2 down in the inning. Here's Dustin Pedroia, who homered his first time up, just had a home run cut right there. but came up empty. 3 of Pedroia's 5 home runs this year have come in the first inning, and we mentioned back in the first inning that the Red Sox have had a lot of success in the first inning this year, and they added to that tonight on that home run by Pedroia. Here's the 0-1 from Severino. Fastball right down the middle for a strike. 0-2. Severino has retired 8 in a row since the Pedroia home run, 5 of them by strikeout. Framed by McCann, but a few inches inside.
Yeah, definitely in off the plate, but I think the pitch he wanted to make, he wanted to run this fastball in there. Just a little too far in off the plate, but an effective pitch nonetheless. Don't waste a pitch here. Go right after it.
Outside, barely. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
And that's a great spot. You talk about 2-1, or sorry, 1-2. His ability to be behind or ahead in the count and come back with this pitch, this location, that's exactly where you want that. When you're ahead in the count to get a chase, and you saw Pedroia, think about it.
2-2 on the way, and he just missed again. Well, Aaron, these would be different than the kinds of pitches you were talking about in the first inning, though.
This is a good pitch. This is a good 2-2 pitch, especially after you've thrown 2 good fastballs, because this pitch starts on the outer half as a strike. This is just an example of a very disciplined hitter having a really nice take on a tough 2-2 pitch.
3-2 on the way. Swing and a miss. He got him for his 6th strikeout of the night. Severino has set down a 6 in a row. 2-0, the Red Sox lead. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms from all their little guys back home. Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN, presented by Taco Bell. Dan Shulman, Aaron Boone, Jessica Mendoza, bottom of the 3rd here in the Bronx. The Red Sox 2 and the Yankees nothing. The Red Sox trying to avoid being swept here this weekend. Didi Gregorius, first pitch swinging, ground ball back to the mound. Staggers right, but he'll make the play for out number 1. So now the number 9 hitter, Chase Headley, will come up, and he'll hit from the left side. So 2 of the 4 switch hitters hitting from the left side, 2 of the 4 switch hitters hitting from the right side against Wright.
Well, and talking to hitters, I was talking to a few of the Yankee guys. You were there talking to Tex as well. how you decide, and they just kind of laugh because just as Aaron talked about off the top, you don't know where the pitch is going, and I think it just comes back to comfort. What's going to allow you to see the ball the best, especially near the end when really you're just trying to get barrel on something that's got funky movement.
Fly ball into left center, and Bradley is there. And Headley is retired for the second out of the inning. Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN, presented by Taco Bell, is brought to you by Deadpool. Get a load of them on DVD, Blu-ray, and digital HD Tuesday. A quick 2 outs here in the bottom of the third. This has been the way it's gone for Stephen Wright this year. Came in with a 1.67 ERA through 5 starts. And has pitched very well so far tonight through 2 2/3. Back to the top of the order for Brett Gardner, who was called out on strikes on 3 pitches. His first time up, takes a high strike here. The old saying about the knuckleball is, if it's high, let it fly. If it's low, let it go, from the hitter's perspective. Because if it's high, it's going to drop into the hitting zone, into the strike zone. There's a low one, and Gardner will lay off a ball and a strike.
You know, in talking about which side to hit from, Dan, I know you talked to Mark Teixeira before the game, and kind of the genesis of him hitting right-handed was being at Fenway Park, facing Tim Wakefield. So you got the short porch and left. Yep. You're at the mercy of the pitch anyway. If it's a nasty one, you're in trouble, whatever side you're on. But he felt like, it's my natural side. I've got that short porch, so if I get a mistake, I'm more inclined to hit
to do
that way.
Damage.
So what the heck?
And had some success from the right side against him. He said when R.A. Dickey, when he was with the Mets, when he was kind of a 50-50 knuckleball conventional pitcher, Teixeira would hit from the left side. Then when he became almost exclusively a knuckleball pitcher, he went to the right side. And Carlos Beltran said, no, I hit from the left side. I feel more comfortable that way. So some guys break it down. Some guys just go with what feels right. And some guys change in the middle because whatever they're trying isn't working so well. Starlin Castro on deck should the inning continue. Popped him up. Pedroia gives way to Bradley. And the inning is over. When we come back, we will speak with Yankee manager Joe Girardi here in the Bronx. Between innings, we had a chance to speak with Yankee manager Joe Girardi. Joe, 2 batters in, 2 runs down, but since then Luis Severino has set down 9 in a row. What do you see?
Well, he just got behind. You know, he walked Betson and then he got in a long count with Pedroia and he hit, you know, the ball out. I didn't think it was going to go out when he hit it, but it did. But since then, he settled down nicely and looks like he's got pretty good control of his fastball and slider and his changeup right now.
I want to talk about control, Joe. Once through the lineup already. Stephen Wright, it's never easy to hit a knuckleball pitcher, but what do you see so far and what adjustments do you want to see this team do?
Well, I mean, they're swinging the pitches up. I don't think they're chasing pitches, and they're trying to get a pitch up and put a good swing on it. We just haven't made solid contact, and hopefully we find the barrel.
Joe, thanks for the time tonight.
Thanks.
Not a lot of solid contact against Stephen Wright for anybody who's faced him so far this year. Xander Bogaerts leads off the fourth for the Red Sox. He struck out his first time up. As we mentioned, as you heard in that interview, Severino's retired 9 in a row, 6 of them by strikeout after the walk to Betts and the home run by Pedroia to begin the game. 1-2 the count as Bogaerts hooks it foul. Severino has not put up pretty numbers though so far this year, an ERA over 6. Michael Pineda, another guy, I don't know if you can say they're counting on him because they've been kind of doing this dance with Pineda for a couple of years now. All the potential, but can he stay healthy? Can he be productive? He's got a 5.73 ERA through 6 starts. Nathan Eovaldi had a very good one yesterday, but still has been inconsistent this year. ERA in the high 4s. There's another strikeout for Severino, his 7th. Here's Big Papi again.
They love him here at Yankee Stadium, huh?
You know what? I bet you when it comes to his last game here this season, I bet you they give him a tremendous ovation.
I think they love to hate him.
But do you think, Aaron, the last time that he plays here, you think they'll change their tune and send him out differently?
I think they will.
I think they will.
It'll be interesting if something's on the line in those games. If these two teams are battling for something, that makes it a little more dicey. But he's.
I mean, that booing feels a little more intense because of what happened here on Friday night.
Yeah, but it's always pretty intense when Papi comes back here and the damage he's done in this building and then in the old building. He's caused a lot of problems and a lot of heartache for some Yankee fans.
You didn't love that call. Right at or just below the knees, and the count is 1-2.
Well, Severino is settled in, and he has consistently been at the knees with that fastball or there just below K zone, and routinely now getting that call.
Well, talking about all the damage that he's done here, back when they were constructing this stadium, so-called new Yankee Stadium, one of the construction workers was a Red Sox fan and buried a David Ortiz jersey in here to try to give the Red Sox some good luck, maybe put a bit of a curse on the Yankees. But word got around, and eventually they knew where to find it. They got it, and they got it out of there. But you know what? Sometimes you're just that good. Doesn't matter what you dig up. David Ortiz does it again.
51 career home runs against the Yankees. He bumps it up another notch when he's playing this team, and a big part of it for Big Papi is his approach, the way that he understands who he's facing. He understands how the at-bat is working. He sees the setup, and he knows and understands what's coming next. And you can see with this fastball, middle away, but watch his lean. Watch him get that front foot down, get his hands to the ball. He knows exactly where it's at, and that's why he's able to pull a pitch that's up and away and hit it out.
His 8th home run of the season, his 26th RBI of the season, and this is the 31st game for the Red Sox. It's very early, but if he keeps up this kind of pace, he's going to have a year that hardly any 40-year-old has ever had in the history of baseball.
He's a bad man.
His 2nd home run of the series, now 3-0 Boston. Big swing and a miss by Hanley Ramirez.
There's just such a confidence there. I feel like that's the biggest thing with David Ortiz is he just knows. It's like he knew what was going to happen, and he almost has this presence about him in the batter's box.
Here's the 0-2. Check swing foul off by Ramirez.
Well, you saw the pitch location. It was where they wanted. McCann was set up. He wanted the ball elevated. It was elevated in the strike zone. But that's where the intellect comes into play for David Ortiz. Such a smart hitter, understanding often what teams are trying to do to him, what pitchers are trying to do to him. He was looking in that exact spot, knowing they might try to climb the ladder a bit. And he was able to catch up with that mid-90s fastball and hit it a long way in the right center.
Count remains 0-2 on Ramirez. Called out on strikes his first time. Takes the fastball inside.
The one thing you like to see from Severino there, he doesn't flinch though. He's come in and had a great at-bat here against Hanley Ramirez. A lot of quality pitches, that one included. He wanted to stand him up with that fastball, maybe to now go back to that slider to try to finish him off.
And a swing and a miss by Ramirez. Strikeout number 8 for Severino. That home run by David Ortiz also is a milestone home run. It's the 453rd that he's hit as a member of the Red Sox. He just passed Carl Yastrzemski for sole possession of second spot on the all-time home run list as a member of the Red Sox. Ted Williams holds the record for Boston with 521. That's 3 pretty good hitters on that list right there. 3 pretty good players. 2 down in the inning. Severino's career high in strikeouts is 9. He's got 8 tonight through 3 2/3. But he's trailing 3-0. He's given up a couple of home runs.
Biggest positive though, and I think the Yankees notices, is 2 of those strikeouts came after the home runs. And that's the difference in the mentality of a 22-year-old that we've seen struggle at times when he gives up the big hit. But tonight, he's locked in right away next batter.
Now Travis Shaw sends a fly ball to right field, but Beltran is there, and that will end the inning. But another run for the Red Sox and another home run. Joe Girardi's team falls a little bit further behind. David Ortiz keeps doing what David Ortiz has been doing for so many years. Hitting home runs, and in this ballpark hurting the Yankees. 3-0 Red Sox. Here in the Bronx, the Red Sox lead the Yankees 3-0. Moments ago, we had a chance to visit with Boston manager John Farrell. John, well, you've been seeing this from Stephen Wright all season long. What's been the key to the big step forward for him this season?
You know, Dan, it's been his ability to throw consistent strikes, and you're seeing it again tonight, but he's still able to create such great action, that knuckleball inside the strike zone.
John, Dustin Pedroia, another home run, another hit to the opposite field. Talk about what you're seeing with him early in the season.
You know, Booney, I think he's just made such a conscious effort to take what the pitcher gives him. Obviously, with Severino's power, he can let the ball travel a little bit, and if he squares something up, it's got a chance to travel. But he's done such a good job of taking pitches into that right field corner all season long.
John, thanks for the time. We appreciate it.
Okay, guys.
So a couple of home runs and some good starting pitching so far, and the Red Sox have a 3-0 lead after the Yankees have won the first 2 games of the series. The Red Sox came into play today a half game behind Baltimore for top spot in the American League East. Baltimore beat Oakland today 11-3, so Boston will need to win just to stay within a half game as Castro strikes out for out number 1. Lots more baseball coming your way this week on ESPN. Monday Night Baseball, part of our Global Game Series. We'll take a look at Venezuela, celebrate some of the great players past and present from Venezuela. Carlos Zambrano will be a part of the telecast as well. Wednesday night, back here from the Bronx, the Kansas City Royals will be here to take on the Yankees. And 1 week from tonight, we will head west, or you guys will return west. You're west folks. We'll be west in Los Angeles as the Dodgers host the St. Louis Cardinals. Heading west each of the next 2 weeks, because the week after that we'll be in San Francisco as the Giants host the Chicago Cubs. Oh, those Chicago Cubs.
Oh, man.
They are something else.
And you know what's crazy is obviously Kyle Schwarber is out for the season, and you just look at so many things they're doing right. But left field still, I mean, can you imagine with Schwarber playing left field instead of Jorge Soler? Is actually probably one of the few weaknesses on that Cubs team right now.
McCann pops it up for the second out. The Cubs had a crazy game today with Washington. They beat the Nationals 4-3 in 13 innings. To say the Cubs pitched around Bryce Harper is a bit of an understatement. He was walked 6 times, 3 of them intentionally, all 3 of those by Jake Arrieta. Harper was also hit by a pitch once, so he came up 7 times and did not have an official at bat in the game. It's a 4-game sweep for the Cubs over the Nationals this weekend. Chicago's 24-6.
And they're beating up on some good teams lately. Swept the Pirates, swept the Nationals now, who came in very hot. Look for Dusty Baker to perhaps switch up that lineup a little bit tomorrow to try and get some more protection. Maybe a left-handed bat behind Harper in that lineup.
Yeah, I was locked in on that Arrieta-Harper matchup. I mean, I was waiting. I was kind of at the edge of my seat. And then when you saw, okay, they're not even going to give him a chance, a little disappointed.
Just fouled down the third baseline, but it worked. 6 walks, by the way, ties a major league record. And it was Javier Baez hitting a walk-off home run in the bottom of the 13th inning to give the Cubs the win in a 4-game sweep over Washington. Teixeira 0 for 1 on the night, bounced into a fielder's choice. Just 1 hit so far for the Yankees. That was a base hit by McCann back in the first. There's a swing and a miss in and out of the glove of Hannigan. He'll tag Teixeira, and that will end the inning. 3 up and 3 down go the Yankees. 3-0 Boston at the end of 4. 5 at Yankee Stadium. Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN. Presented by Taco Bell. Dan Schulman, Jessica Mendoza, and Aaron Boone with you here tonight. 3-0. The Red Sox lead the Yankees on home runs by Dustin Pedroia and David Ortiz, and 4 terrific innings from Stephen Wright. He's given up just 1 hit so far. Bottom third of the order: Brock Holt, Jackie Bradley Jr., and Ryan Hannigan to face Luis Severino, who has struck out 8 through 4 innings. Got Holt looking in the second inning, and he's out in front of a 0-2 right now. Well, there's an example of him missing his spot by a couple of feet right there.
Yeah, and I think just sometimes he's going to make it really nasty or really dirty of a pitch instead of just saying, let me locate this. Let me start this slider at the bottom of the strike zone and try and break it down and out. He has the natural stuff to get the chases.
Just missed off the outside edge. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Trying to hit the corner on the outside now with the fastball. Pretty good pitch, but definitely just off the plate away. He wanted a couple of those, but that pitch probably definitely a couple inches out off the plate.
This would be a good time, I think, to come in with that slider if he can command it. Low inner half to Brock Holt.
In the air to left field, backpedaling Gardner, 1 down.
The best pitches for Severino this game have been when he's been able to command that lower half of the zone, and especially his fastball. When he hits that spot low in the zone, he has been able to execute and hold these Red Sox hitters. Same with the slider. You see he throws it in that same tunnel as the fastball, and then it breaks away. But when he elevates, that's when he's gotten in trouble. The home run to Pedroia, the big one to Big Poppy, both fastballs up in the zone, and I believe that's where the Red Sox are looking for him.
Now swing and a miss by Jackie Bradley Jr., who entered the game on a 13-game hitting streak. One strikeout shy of his career high is Severino. Bradley's hitting .340 during the 13-game hitting streak.
And Booney, I think honestly, if I'm a hitter right now facing Severino, because of how good that fastball and slider combination, when it's good low in the zone, I'd probably want to see something up, because those have been the best pitches to hit. Because that right there, and if he executes a fastball before that, that's when you start to chase. But if you look for something up in the zone, he doesn't give it to you very often, but that fastball high, that's when these Red Sox hitters have been able to get barrel on ball.
Falls behind here. (3-1). Yanked to right field, and it's down for a base hit in front of Beltran to extend the hit streak to 14 games. Scampering back to the bag safely is Bradley. Come on out to the ballpark on May 14th and 15th for Major League Baseball's first annual Play Ball Weekend, proudly supported by Chevrolet and Scotts. For more information on Play Ball Weekend activities and to get your tickets, visit MLB.com/tickets. And get some of that while you're at the ballpark.
Cotton candy action.
Yeah. Nobody's going to sleep anytime soon after that. That'll get you through the 9 innings tonight.
I'm sure Dad's in charge on that one.
Moms get a free pass today, huh? Here's Ryan Hannigan.
Mom, you got the aisle. I got the kids over here.
That seems fair. Yeah. Mom's earned it. Runner at first, 1 out. Bradley's got a couple of steals on the season. Maybe a future boondoggle subject right there. Brian Butterfield coaching at third.
love how you set these up. Now he's got to do it.
And a strike.
You watching, Booney? Taking notes?
Oh, I've seen that. He's got this one.
Oh, he's got
it
it now?
yeah. No,
Oh,
this is in the stable. Yeah.
Doesn't need it anywhere.
Yeah, no, he's got this one. I've seen him do this one in restaurants, hotel lobbies, airports. Aaron imitating. Usually we've done hitters, but maybe we'll branch out a little bit later on. Shovel to the bag for one on to first. Double play. Castro to Gregorius to Ackley, a 4-6-3 inning ending double play. The Red Sox 3 and the Yankees nothing. Carlos Beltran will lead it off for the Yankees. Time now to take a look at our value player, brought to you by True Value, and he has certainly been a value player over the year, going way back to 1999 when American League Rookie of the Year as a member of the Kansas City Royals. 8-time All-Star, 3 Gold Gloves, almost 400 home runs in his career, better than 300 steals. He's put up some big numbers, and my friend Mr. Boone says he should definitely be a Hall of Famer. Fly ball to right field. That'll stay in the park. One down.
Yeah, coming up on 2,500 hits. He's going to get to 1,500 runs scored and RBI. A great center fielder for the bulk of his career defensively. Had some great postseason moments, some great postseasons. Yeah, I think he's overlooked a little bit in the Hall of Fame discussion, frankly.
Dustin Ackley will take a strike. In and out of the glove of Hannigan, a ball and a strike.
Just the reaction, that last pitch, Hannigan. This gives you an idea of how much late break this knuckleball can have, and unpredictable.
What I find that's been remarkable about him tonight is seeing the number of pitches in the strike zone and really up in the strike zone at the top of the zone and in the middle, and guys swinging right through it or just incredibly weak contact, which just goes to show you how much movement there is late on this pitch. He is locked in. There's another example. That's at the top of the zone, typically a pitch you'd want to go after as a hitter facing the knuckleball, and routinely they have swung through these pitches.
And he's done it with different velocities throughout the entire game. So not only attacking the zone and being able to move it, but you see 73 on a strikeout, 75 on a ground out. He'll manipulate the knuckleball there, 72, so that he can have different speeds, 77 on that last one, and now 78. So you see anywhere, and he'll say he can even get it as low as 62 and as high as 80. That's 18 miles an hour difference when you think about not only the movement, but also the timing, which he recognizes, hey, everyone knows what's coming. So they're sitting back. They are waiting late. And if I can manipulate that speed, I'm also going to be able to miss their barrel. So twice, not just with movement, but also with velocity.
Aaron Hicks is the batter. Hicks grounded into a double play to end the second inning. Look at the pitch count on Wright. He's thrown 49 pitches. That's it, as he works here with 2 outs in the 5th inning. And with him being 31 and really finding this knuckleball, not just this year. I mean, this has been coming for a couple of years, but obviously it appears he's taken it to another level this year. With knuckleballers generally able to pitch into their 40s, this could be the beginning of something, the beginning of many years of this kind of performance. Obviously, it's a very unpredictable pitch, but this could be the beginning of something.
Absolutely. I mean, and in a lot of ways, it's kind of like you got a 23, 24, 25-year-old pitcher on your hands. And the Red Sox may have really found something late in the career. Hannigan doing all he can to tackle that one. Glove save.
I would
looks
imagine
like my 6-year-old Little League, you know, when they're just trying to find like where the ball, it's like that late reaction. I mean, that's what the knuckleball makes Hannigan reactions look like.
He should get a stick in the right hand.
Just whack it.
A little goalie-ish.
Yes. And then a fastball at 87 to strike him out and end the inning. Just not fair. 5 strikeouts for Stephen Wright, who has been toying with the Yankees so far here tonight.
You can call me mama's boy all you want, but I'm still
Six, the Red Sox 3, Yankees nothing. Time now for this week's installment of Boondoggle, where Aaron, according to who you, the viewers, have voted on, imitates a batting stance of someone. And this week's winner, Dave Winfield. And Winfield's fired up. And it's not just the thing, it's the saunter to the plate.
Yes.
You got that in you? Yeah, baby.
Nice move with the pink bat.
Yeah. This is good, Aaron. Like when you put out a greatest hits album, this is on there.
His mouth. You see his mouth? Yeah. He's even got his lips all pursed.
You had fun today.
I did.
Yeah.
Time I get to dust
That's
off
my number
Dave
one.
Winfield.
I like that. I like that one.
Yeah.
Now, we know that he tweeted last week or the week before wondering how the voting was going, maybe the first time that he was up. Did you hear from him today? Does he know it was happening tonight?
I have not heard from him.
Wow.
So we'll see.
Luis Severino back on the mound for the 6th inning. Top of the order for the Red Sox. Up 3-0 on home runs by Dustin Pedroia and David Ortiz. Pedroia's on deck right now as Betts pops it up on the right side of the infield. Easy play for Dustin Ackley, and that is out number 1. Here are the contestants next year. We've got the Cardinals and the Dodgers for you. Will it be Willie McGee or will it be Steve Garvey? Have you done both of these before?
I've done both of these guys before, so yeah, it might be all right.
Which side of the plate do you do Willie McGee?
I do Willie from the left side.
From the left side. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
I think this could go either way.
Yeah,
I think this could be a nail biter.
This is a good battle.
Yeah.
We'll throw back.
I want to see Garvey. But I grew up
in LA. Yeah.
I grew up in LA. So.
I want to see in uniform in a throwback uni doing these batting stances.
Yeah, I think we need to put in some requests,
Yeah.
Dan. We need to add our 2 cents.
Step it up a notch.
Agree, like the '80s powder blue of the Cardinals, or a little little old
you gotta
school
have some
Dodgers.
throwbacks.
Yeah.
We can make that happen.
You got that kind of stuff lying around?
Not really.
With his family? Come on.
Yeah. Fly ball down the right field line and fading foul. Pedroia went down the right field line but kept it fair, Jess, back in the 1st inning.
Well, and really, it's almost a miss hit. He gets underneath it, but just enough because of the velocity of Severino. And you see Beltran going up, misses it probably by just a few inches. This has been Pedroia 2016, almost half his hits the opposite field. So much power. He's got that healthy top hand, and that has really been the difference this season compared to last.
Just off the end of the bat, a roller out to second to Castro, 2 down. Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN, presented by Taco Bell, is brought to you by Leinenkugel's Summer Shandy, and in part by the Ego Power Plus Lawnmower, Ego Power Beyond Belief, and USAA, insurance, banking, and investments tailored for the military community. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. Lots of moms we have seen around the ballpark tonight. Lots of pink in the ballpark as well, as part of Major League Baseball's initiative to raise funds to fight breast cancer. Each Mother's Day, MLB goes to bat against breast cancer. This was launched in 2006. For the first time, clubs this year designed special uniforms and caps that incorporate pink into it as well. And the bats, once authenticated, will be auctioned off on MLB.com to raise money in the fight against breast cancer. Going to the bottom of the 6th, 3-0 Boston. The best seats at every ballpark for every game. Visit MLB.com/tickets today. To the bottom of the 6th here in the Bronx. It's still 3-0 Red Sox. The Yankees have just one hit in this game off the knuckleballer Stephen Wright. That was a 2-out single by Brian McCann way back in the first inning. Wright has walked one batter, has struck out 5, and has a very low pitch count here in the 6th inning. He is attacking the zone, and he is getting lots of swings and misses from these Yankee batters. Here's the 0-2 to Gregorius, and a weak chopper foul. Well, we are very lucky, as we mentioned off the top of the show, to have a guy who knows something about hitting a knuckleball and did it in a very big moment. Let's go back to the 2003 American League Championship Series. Tim Wakefield. Oh, I'm sorry, Aaron. That's a strikeout. I feel terrible. I don't know how that happened.
I did a lot more of that against Wakefield.
There's a ground ball right
like
off the mound. You know what?
Wasn't there?
I think we have the right one queued up now. I'm really sorry about that. Let's try this again. The 2003 American League Championship Series. Another at bat.
It looked like the same as the last. Is that a different at bat?
No, that was a different at bat. Yeah,
so he did the same thing twice.
They were in consecutive innings in Game 4.
Yeah,
I believe.
he dominated me for the most part.
Yeah.
I mean, and there were many a times where you're up there and I'm thinking, got it. Don't got it. That thing disappears on you in a hurry. He had a great one. I think Andy Reichwald told me I was 3 for 17 in my career against him, which is no bueno.
There was one important one, though.
One good one.
Well, unfortunately, there are 2 outs, and we don't like to roll video with 2 outs in case the inning ends quickly. Should we squeeze it in?
I think we should.
I think we'll squeeze it in.
I think that was important enough.
Game 7, extra innings, series winning home run, or as we like to call it on the crew, roll 190. Do you ever get tired of watching it?
No, I mean
it's pretty cool, man.
When it's on the loop in my house, it sometimes gets a little boring late in the day. But no.
Yeah, like the screensaver on your iPad's a bit much, I think. So,
yeah,
but I mean, do you get asked about it almost every day?
Every day when I'm out in the baseball world.
Right.
No doubt about it.
Yeah.
Especially, obviously Boston Yankees. And you just realize how far stretched this rivalry is. When you're across the country and people have a story attached to a moment in this rivalry, it's a neat thing to have been a part of.
Here's a fly ball to right field off the bat of Gardner. And it's another 3-up, 3-down inning for the Yankees. Stephen Wright is dominating tonight. 7 pitches to get the Yankees in the 6th. New York, and welcome back to Sunday Night Baseball presented by Taco Bell. Tomorrow night got a great game for you. We've got the Detroit Tigers taking on the Washington Nationals. It is part of our global game series as we focus on players from Venezuela. Carlos Zambrano will be a guest analyst. Also an interview, Eduardo Perez with Miguel Cabrera and Victor Martinez, two of the most prominent players who have come from Venezuela. Ozzie Guillen will be part of the telecast talking about Venezuelan shortstops and the meaning of number 13. There are a total of 8 Venezuelan players on the 2 teams, 4 Tigers and 4 Nationals. And David Ortiz, my oh my, he has done it again. His 2nd home run of the night, 3rd of the series, and it's 4-0 Red Sox.
We talked about it with his last home run. His approach, his setup, he knew exactly the pitch that he hit. His last home run, it was up, away, a fastball. So what does he do before this at bat? He knows that he's not going to see that pitch again, so he's looking inner half. He gets a fastball again, but look at the location. Low and in, exactly opposite of the home run that he hit his last at bat, and he is waiting for it. Look at his hands go down, get that barrel below the ball to lift it out of the park.
And Jess, as you know, being a left-handed hitter, that down and in pitch, that's a pitch that hits itself. And we haven't seen it a lot tonight with Severino, but that's an example of too much early in the season. Brian McCann setting up in a location and just reaching back across the plate for a fastball. Another home run for Big Papi.
Again, it's very early in the season, but that's the 9th home run of the year for David Ortiz. The most home runs that anybody 40 or over has ever hit in a season, according to ESPN research, is 29, held by Ted Williams and our own Raul Ibanez. Both hit 29 home runs as a 40-year-old. That could be Ortiz's record at the end of the year. Here's Hanley Ramirez, a couple of strikeouts as he tries to extend what is now an 11-game hitting streak. Jackie Bradley's already extended his to 14 tonight. So 3 home runs accounting for all 4 runs tonight for Boston. Meanwhile, the Yankees have but 1 hit off Stephen Wright through 6 innings. Down and in with a fastball, ball 2. Jason Shreve, the left-hander, was up in the pen for the Yankees on the cusp of the 100th pitch for Luis Severino. It's the amazing part about the sport. One guy's throwing 96, 97 with a hard slider and a 90-mile-an-hour changeup. The other guy's floating butterflies up there. It's a funny game. Yeah.
Topping out at 75.
Yeah. And that guy's winning the battle right now, Stephen Wright.
This with the lefty Shaw on deck. This could be his last hitter. Looks like he's starting to lose some of that command that he's found really since the first couple hitters in this game. For the most part, he's had.
And that's a perfect example. McCann setting up low and away, missing up and in. And Hanley struck out twice, and he struck out on a pitch that was a fastball low and a slider low. So they're trying to sit low. You see where McCann's glove is. You see where that misses, that leaks back over the plate. That's a mistake that Hanley could have really taken advantage of.
2-2 again, and on his hands again. Shaw waiting on deck. Yankees won the first 2 games of the series. The Red Sox swept the Yankees at Fenway last week. So the Yankees, even with the 2 wins, still 11-17. That's it. Their offense has been so quiet for most of the season. They sit in last in the American League East. And there's strike 3 called as Severino matches his career high with 9 strikeouts in what could be the last batter that he faces tonight.
Jess, I think he did a really good job, Severino, after losing his mechanics a little bit for a couple of pitches, settling back in. He threw the fastball in on the corner and got the strike, and then drops this slider. Even though it misses a little in, it's down and able to freeze Hanley Ramirez there.
Severino will stay as Shaw comes to the plate. Shaw tonight, a strikeout and a fly ball. Yankees will stay home after tonight. They'll start a 3-game series with Oakland tomorrow. Or the Yankees, excuse me, stay home to start a series with Kansas City. Boston goes home to start a series with Oakland. You'll see the Royals and the Yankees on Wednesday Night Baseball here this week on ESPN. The infield for the Yankees just slightly playing Shaw to pull. Nothing near a shift, just everybody maybe a step or two to their left. The velocity of Severino may have something to do with that. The count is 3-1. You're almost surprised when a left-handed batter with some power comes up and there isn't a shift on these days. Ground ball to short. Gregorius.
I think we're going to look back to at some point, whether it's 5 or 10 years from now, where you can't imagine the game where you didn't shift at all. Like where I think almost every batter is going to have some sort of defensive shift just because of where the analytics are taking the game and the fact that you can see now with the numbers and pretty much position everybody where you believe a hitter is going to hit it.
2 down and the base is empty here in the top of the 7th. The Red Sox leading the Yankees 4-0 here at Yankee Stadium, and the batter is Brock Holt, who has struck out and flied out. A career high now in pitches for Severino, the 22-year-old. Second youngest starting pitcher in baseball this year.
And guys, I think regardless, I think it's a huge step forward for Luis Severino tonight. Going up against this lineup, you know, after walking the first hitter on 4 pitches, giving up the fly ball home run to right field, other Big Papi, he's dominated a lot of this lineup and commanded the ball much better than he has early in the season. We could look back on this being the game that started to turn the season around for Luis Severino. I think a lot of progress has been made against that outstanding lineup of the Red Sox.
Only given up 4 hits in the game. Unfortunately for him, though, 3 of them are home runs.
But you look at the at-bat, and I said this earlier, but you look at the at-bat following the home run, they're all 3 strikeouts. And I think that is the maturity of the 22-year-old that they want to see progress. You might not see it with the W, but that's not the results that Larry Rothschild's looking for. It's about maturity, handling the emotions. In his last start, he struggled with that. So that's a big step up just from Tuesday to today.
Liner to right field and down for a base hit. Holt running hard as he always does, makes a big turn, but held to a single. And now that's going to be all. Joe Girardi is out, and he has made the call to the bullpen. So Severino will get through 6 2/3 tonight. He's given up 4 runs. He's responsible for the runner at first. The home run ball bit him tonight. Not once, not twice, but 3 times, including 2 by David Ortiz. And there was no doubt about either one of them. End for 22-year-old right-hander Luis Severino as he goes 6 2/3 tonight. As we take a look at tonight's pitching summary, brought to you by John Deere. As Aaron said, a big step forward in his mind for Severino, but Stephen Wright is really the story here tonight. Jess, he has been outstanding.
He's been remarkable, not just with the knuckleball and the way he's been able to move it, but also mixing his speeds and being so consistent with pounding that strike zone.
Wright just 60 pitches through 6 shutout innings. Here's left-hander Chasen Shreve into the game for the Yankees to face Jackie Bradley Jr. For Shreve, his 13th appearance of the season. As you can see, a .466 ERA, 1 win, 1 loss. Very good strikeout to walk ratio, trying to take care of this left-handed batter and end the inning.
One of those reverse split guys. Last year, a real nice breakthrough season for him in the Yankee bullpen. Dominated right-handed hitters, struggled a little bit with lefties, and this year more of the same. Has held right-handed hitters to a 185 clip, lefties hitting 300 against him.
Is there anything about him that makes it happen that way?
Yeah, well, he's a fastball split slider. Splits his best secondary pitch, which plays better against the right-handed hitters, and we're seeing here against Jackie Bradley, he goes more to that slider, which is definitely his third best pitch. So lefties probably see it pretty well off of Chasen Shreve.
Runner at first, Holt, being held on by Ackley. 2 down in the inning. And obviously Shreve wants to throw a different pitch than McCann thinks he should throw. Back to the breaking ball, and it's fouled off 2-2. Shreve, a terrific year for the Yankees last year until late in the season. And whether he hit the wall or however you want to say it, the numbers just weren't there. He really had trouble getting outs late in the year, and right at the very end of the season, Joe Girardi could hardly go to him. But for about 5 months, he was extremely effective out of the bullpen. Runner goes, and it's sent down the left field line toward the corner. It's a fair ball. Holt around third will score with ease on an RBI double by Bradley. That makes it 5-0. And now they're going to. Are they going to send him back? Yes, they are. That ball must have skipped up into the seats. Our view from that corner was blocked, or somebody must have reached over and touched it, and that will cost the Red Sox a run.
Jackie Bradley Jr. just been on a tear. 14 straight games, but look at the plate coverage. We saw him get a nice single his last at bat, but his ability to also go with it. He pulled his single before, and now he just takes a pitch up in the zone and just simple with it, placing the ball into that left field corner for the double.
And it is a ground rule double, skipped up into the seats, bounced back down onto the field. So Holt has to go back to third. 2 men in scoring position with 2 down for Ryan Hanigan.
And with Holt running there, that's a break for the Yankees. He probably definitely scores if that ball doesn't jump into the stands.
Hanigan is flied out, grounded into a double play. And a strike. I wonder if next time or every time the Red Sox play the Blue Jays, if Ryan Hanigan and Josh Thole, give each other a hug and just sit down and talk a little bit. And they're the only 2 guys in baseball catching a knuckleball. Hanigan catching Wright, Thole catching R.A. Dickey.
Yeah, we talk about the fraternity of the pitchers, but how about the catchers? I mean, Doug Mirabelli catching Tim Wakefield.
Hit the cold tub afterwards. Exhale together.
But you got to feel good if you're Hanigan when Stephen Wright has a night like he's having tonight. You got to feel like you've helped him a little bit, like you're part of that process.
Absolutely. And what's remarkable is, looking at the line now for Stephen Wright, 60 pitches in 6 innings, but not just getting all early contact either. I mean, he's got 5 strikeouts to go with it. So about as efficient a game as you can possibly have at this point for Stephen Wright as his great start to this season continues.
1-2.
Now you see with Hannigan, both of the off-speed pitches here, that split-fingered pitch. That's the pitch that allowed him to have so much success for those 5 months you talked about a season ago, Dan.
Let's see what McCann's thinking. Changing up the signs with a runner out at second. You got to help me, Booney.
I think you go back to the split.
They did, and it's in the dirt. McCann down to first, and the inning is over. So a strikeout for Shreve. 7th inning stretch in the Bronx.
You can call me mama's boy, all you want.
Here at Yankee Stadium, 6 innings, no runs, just 1 hit. He talked to us about the mechanics of throwing the knuckleball.
A lot of it is just, keeping my wrist stiff. Sometimes I'll get it too loose, and just finishing by my front foot. And a lot of that, all it does is it keeps you down the same path, your arm. And so if you start getting across your body, that's when the ball just starts taking off. But if you can stay to your front foot, usually you can keep it within a good up and down sense. And then the left and right, it becomes more consistent because you want it to move left and right, but you want it to move up and down more.
And the up and down has probably been the key tonight against these Yankees hitters. I mean, we haven't seen a batter really square up and get barrel on ball against Stephen Wright. And the big part of that, obviously, is that up and down movement. He's had the 5 Ks, but it really has been the mishits. The fact that the contact we've seen has been weak contact against the knuckleball.
Starlin, Castro, Brian McCann, and Mark Teixeira to face Wright here in the 7th inning. Castro's grounded out and struck out.
And the Castro ground out to second. Yes, a ground out to second. Maybe the hardest hit ball for the Yankees tonight. That knuckleball has been that dominant.
Inside, a ball and a strike. The only hit was a soft liner, a little blooper into left field off the bat of Brian McCann way back in the first inning.
And I was fascinated just listening to Stephen Wright talk yesterday, and especially to me, the mechanics, and even sitting with Carl Willis before the game. But if you watch, look at the lack of drive off the back leg that you would normally see in a pitcher. And then when he talks about getting to that front foot, I mean, when you think about throwing, it's all about reach and extension.
This one's pretty well hit, and it's going to go high off the fence, bounce back beyond Betts. He'll pick it up, and Castro is aboard with a leadoff double.
Castro's probably had the best swings of anyone all night long against Stephen Wright, and here gets a pitch up and away. Look at that knuckleball again on the outer half. It's dancing, and it has some good right to left movement on it, but Starlin Castro able to get the barrel on it a little bit out in front, but able to ride it off that wall in right field. And a leadoff base runner here for the Yankees in the 7th.
They're down 4-0, just their second hit of the night. Here's Brian McCann, 1 for 2. The consistency with which Wright has been in the strike zone is remarkable for a knuckleball pitcher.
Well, we saw the Yankees early take a lot of pitches, kind of waiting to see, because normally you're used to a lot of balls outside of the zone, and now they've had to be aggressive early. Knowing that Wright's going to come right in that square, right in that K zone, he has consistently lit that up.
I've been impressed with how he really just attacks the top of the strike zone, though. And typically you think that's when that pitch is going to flatten out, but he's in such a good groove. He trusts that it's going to move because his mechanics are so good right now, and it's been dancing all night through the top of that strike zone.
He has thrown a first pitch strike to 18 of the 21 batters he has faced tonight. You can't do it much better than Stephen Wright is doing it tonight. Fly ball right field. Betts into the corner, makes the catch in fair territory, and tagging and going to third on the play is Castro.
These last two batters been the first two really to square up against Stephen Wright, but if you look at through the first 6 innings, it's been a lot of weak contact. And you see just that depth that you're talking about, Booney, and how the pitch is up in the zone, but then it drops out, and the movement in the last 4 batters, none of these balls get past Stephen Wright on the mound. You think about weak contact is one thing, but they're not going more than 5 or 6 feet because of that nasty movement on the knuckleball.
The batter marked Teixeira. You know, the Red Sox have to be thrilled with what they've gotten out of Wright this year, because other things in their rotation have not gone as they had expected, most notably David Price. In the first year of that 7-year, $217 million contract, Price has an ERA of 6.75. Now they got the runner hung up, and he is out trying to get back to third. Castro thought he might have a chance to score, realized he'd made a mistake, and got caught going back.
I mean, this is a huge mistake by Starlin Castro. You're down 4 runs, 1 out. I know you want to get a run across, but you got to know that this ball is going to the backstop. You've got to see it going to the backstop. There's no way he did, and he gets out there in no man's land. Hannigan bounces on that ball and throws a strike down to Travis Shaw. Does he get the tag in?
Well, I think he got his hand on the bag first, but the signal from Chris Conroy was then his hand came off the bag, and that's what the replay verifies.
Yep.
And look at the quick late move, though. Castro, even though he's caught off, I mean, that's a nice move. He stays on the bag. He got himself safe. He just ends up coming off late. A little bit of the athleticism of Castro trying to save his own life, getting back.
2-1 the count now with 2 down and the bases empty. Frustrating night for Joe Girardi and the Yankees. Liner back to the mound. When it's your night, it's your night. And it's Stephen Wright's night right now. 7 shutout innings, pitching beautifully and fielding his position as well. MLB.com at Bat app. Stay up to the moment at any moment with Game Day, live game video highlights, StatCast news, and more. Download MLB.com at Bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your phone and tablets. Dan Schulman, Jessica Mendoza, Aaron Boone, top of the 8th in the Bronx. The Red Sox leading 4-0 on the strength of 3 home runs, 1 by Dustin Pedroia, 2 by David Ortiz, and 7 brilliant shutout innings from Stephen Wright, who has allowed only 2 hits tonight and has an extremely low pitch count, so no reason he won't come back out for the 8th. Top of the order for Boston, Betts, Pedroia, and Bogarts against Shreve. Betts walked and scored on the Pedroia home run back in the 1st. He's also popped up a couple of times. There's a strike, 1-2.
When we talk about the success of this entire Red Sox lineup, Mookie Betts, and John Farrell was talking about it to us pregame. He's a player in this lineup that it doesn't feel like he's contributed enough. He puts a ton of pressure on himself and is a perfectionist. This is a guy that could possibly be an MVP caliber player, but has yet to show it. How scary is this lineup when you look at the success of everyone in it, knowing that Mookie at the top of it has yet to even get hot?
4 games over 500 coming into this one tonight at 17-13. Fly ball to center. A little pop up really, and it'll be Gregorius back to make the catch, 1 down. Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN is presented by the Beefy Crunch and Cheesy Double Beef Burritos. You asked for them. Taco Bell brought them back for just $1. And in part by Wells Fargo. Together we'll go far. And Lowe's. Hurry in today to your neighborhood store this week for big spring savings. 1 down, nobody on, and here's Pedroia at the opposite field 2-run homer back in the 1st, his 5th home run of the season. The Red Sox coming in averaging 5 runs per game, the top offensive team in the American League. The Yankees had 8 runs yesterday, broke out. They have been one of the worst offensive teams in baseball this year, and they're certainly not going to improve on those numbers unless their fortunes change dramatically in the next couple of innings. But Aaron, you said this morning you think the Yankee offense will get going, that by the end of the season they'll be just fine.
No, I don't know about just fine, but remember last year they were second in the American League in runs scored.
Yeah.
And look, even though they have a lot of older veteran players.
Ground ball down to third.
So while those valleys might be a little bigger this year and they may not hit to that level next year, I think they at least get to a middle of the pack offense before the season's done. Then it becomes incumbent on the starting rotation to continue to step it up, and hopefully you have games where you routinely get it to what should be a lights out bullpen for much of the season.
A lights out bullpen that will add Aroldis Chapman as of tomorrow. His suspension ended or ends at the end of this game, and Joe Girardi saying Chapman will be his closer. He's got Betances, Miller, and Chapman. Aroldis Chapman suspended for a domestic incident. He is alleged to have choked his girlfriend. He denies that. He admits to having then gone into the garage, punched a hole in the window of his car, and fired 8 shots, 8 gunshots within his garage. And under a new policy instituted by baseball over the last year, Rob Manfred with a lot of power to determine the severity of the discipline, and he determined a 30-game suspension. Chapman acquired by the Yankees, eligible to return tomorrow when the Yankees begin a series with Kansas City, and it will give the Yankees a back end of the bullpen unlike just about anything we have ever seen. The question is, can they get enough leads to those 3 guys? Bogaerts drives one to deep left field, and it's gone. The 4th home run of the night for the Red Sox as they take a 5-0 lead.
One of the biggest question marks for Xander Bogaerts, not so much the average, his ability to hit, but his power. And that's something I've spoken to him all week about, is the fact that he recognizes an opportunity, and it's on this pitch right here that's breaking in onto his hands. Watch his hands stay close to his body. Watch them almost draw a line so that he can get the barrel on a pitch that's breaking right into him to hit this out.
And now here's David Ortiz, who's already hit 2 home runs in this game. Ground ball down to first, and the inning is over. But another home run and another run for the Red Sox, and a 5-0 lead going to the bottom of the 8th. 5-0. They've hit 4 home runs. Just David Ortiz has a pair.
Big Poppy's had a big night. Home run number 1. Look at 106-mile-per-hour launch speed on a 97-mile-per-hour pitch. That's a 27-degree launch angle. Home run number 2. A little bit less on the mile per hour, a little bit less on the launch speed, but even more on that angle because he gets below a low and in fastball to hit it out of the park.
And with the 2 home runs tonight, as we mentioned earlier, every time he does anything, he seems to pass somebody significant in some category. He passed Mel Ott and moved into a tie with Ernie Banks and Eddie Matthews with the 2 home runs that he's hit tonight.
He's retiring at the end of this year.
How nice is it, though? I mean, how few players get to say that I'm this good and I'm done. Usually someone's showing you the door.
He keeps this up. There might be some conversations.
Well, people are asking him, but he's not budging that much.
He said there might be some negotiation if he could skip spring training, just show up,
play home games.
Yeah.
he's got a deal on the table.
It's good work if you can get it. Meanwhile, Wright sailing along into the 8th inning at just 76 pitches now as he faces Carlos Beltran, who was flied out twice. And a fly ball into shallow right field for out number 1. Here's what's coming your way this week on ESPN. Tomorrow night, Monday Night Baseball, part of our Global Game Series as we take a look at the rich baseball heritage and tradition from Venezuela as the Tigers play the Nationals. Wednesday Night Baseball from here at Yankee Stadium. The Kansas City Royals will be in town. And then 1 week from tonight, Sunday Night Baseball will be in Los Angeles as the Dodgers host the Cardinals. Cardinals were beaten today 10-5 by Pittsburgh. John Jason, Gregory Polanco homered for the Pirates. Pittsburgh takes 2 out of 3 from their division rivals. Mom can't rest the entire night, even on Mother's Day. Her work is never done, it seems.
Those are the best days, though. They're sleeping all the time.
Yeah. Dustin Ackley. And a fly ball to right field. Backpedaling. Betts has room on the track for out number 2.
You know, I think one of the things, too, you're watching these Yankees hitters is they get under it a little bit, but they have to provide so much more when we talk about exit velocity because of the lack of velocity that's coming from Stephen Wright tonight. And you think about anywhere from 68 to 74, 75. I mean, there's a reason why we're seeing weaker contact, not just because of the pitch, but the fact that the hitters have to provide all the power.
And here's another sign that things aren't going well against a knuckleballer. Aaron Hicks hit from the right side the first 2 times up. Now he says, the heck with it. That ain't working. I'm going to try the left side.
Poor Hannigan behind the plate.
Yeah.
I mean, he's having a night. This is a different glove that he's using tonight than he's used even in the past. And try to attempt to even try to pitch present that last one.
Yeah, tough to frame with a knuckleballer.
He's really calling a good game tonight, too. Wiggling them fingers and let's go.
Red Sox fans are used to this. They saw a lot of years of Tim Wakefield doing this. Doug Mirabelli did a lot of the catching for Tim Wakefield back in those times. Nobody knows which way it's going to break. And the inning is over. Another 3 up, 3 down innings. 8 shutout innings tonight for Stephen Wright. TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, delivers everything you have come to expect and more. Watch every out-of-market game live in HD on over 400 supported devices. Includes a free subscription to At Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details. Rookie right-hander Johnny Barbado is into the game here in the 9th inning. Split last year between AA and AAA in the Yankee system. His 12th appearance of the season. He comes on in a 5-0 game, the Red Sox leading. 8 shutout innings for Stephen Wright and 4 home runs for the Red Sox. The 2 big stories in this game. Hanley Ramirez still looking to extend that hitting streak. Came in on an 11-gamer. He's 0 for 3, all 3 strikeouts. All 3 at the hands of a Luis Severino, who matched a career high with 9 strikeouts tonight, but did give up 3 home runs and 4 runs in his 6 2/3. Looks like Stephen Wright's going to get a chance to do something that he's never done. That's throw a complete game, and why not? 86 pitches. The 8 innings matches his longest start in the big leagues. That came against the Yankees last year. Hit him and hurt him.
Well, we've seen him all night with 2 strikes try and chase him in off the plate to set up the next pitch. And Barbado, who just blew him away with the first 2 fastballs away, just a young pitcher trying to make too great a pitch and loses it up and in, and hopefully that doesn't do any serious damage.
Obviously, the big concern just making sure it missed the bone.
Yep. I mean, this is just a case. You see it so often, again, with young pitchers sometimes, is they get to 2 strikes and they want to make the nastiest, the greatest pitch instead of just locating the pitch the best. And this is, they definitely want to come in off the plate, and if they don't get the swing, they're just setting up the next pitch. But he just overthrows it a little bit and runs it too far in off the plate, and an 0-2 turns into a hit by a pitch, and hopefully something that won't cost Hanley any significant time.
He's in some pain, but he'll stay in the game here to lead off the 9th inning. And that'll bring up Travis Shaw, who's 0 for 3. And now Ramirez takes advantage of the Yankees not paying attention to him. Barbado throws the ball into center field, and Hanley takes 3rd.
You just watch Hanley get an amazing jump, taking advantage, like you said, Dan, if they're not paying attention, knowing that he's hurt. He's probably over there just thinking more about his arm, but he's not. He's watching, he's right back in, and the fact that he takes 3rd, tell a little bit of motion as he gets into 3rd.
Infield in for the Yankees. There's been some head shaking over in that Yankee dugout. It's been a frustrating night for them on a number of fronts. After they had been playing better, they'd won 2 in a row and 3 of their last 4. Good curveball swung on and missed. They'll get Chapman back tomorrow from his suspension, but Alex Rodriguez is on the DL. They hope that's just 15 days. CC Sabathia is on the DL. He pitched very well Wednesday. Then went on Friday with a groin injury. They hope that is just 15 days. Jacoby Ellsbury is day-to-day with a hip injury right now, so the Yankees are a little bit depleted.
Last night, one of their best games of the season, 8 runs on 11 hits. The offense that had been lacking so much throughout the first 5 weeks of the season really came to life. They were hoping to kind of continue that into this game.
Ramirez still in some pain now at third base as the Red Sox look to add to their lead. Fly ball to left field. Gardner coming over near the line, makes the catch. Here comes Ramirez. Here comes the throw, the tag at the plate, and he's out.
And this was a risk all the way just because of how shallow this ball was hit and who it was hit to. And you see Gardner, he goes up to get it, but the throw is on the money. He gets a little bit behind it because it was in front of him, but you could not have asked for a more perfect setup to McCann. And that's why Ramirez took the risk. If this throws anywhere to the right, Ramirez is safe.
So 2 down and the base is empty for Brock Holt. Sports Center at night is next. Coming up, the Cubs walk off and they sweep the Nationals as Bryce Harper walks 6 times in that 13-inning game. Manny Machado with a big day for the Orioles, and Steph Curry's mom on raising her MVP son. It's all next on Sports Center at night with Steve Levy and John Anderson. Holt lifts one in the air to center field. And the inning is over. To the bottom of the 9th. Stephen Wright, 3 outs away from a shutout. 5-0 Red Sox.
You can call me mama's boy all you want.
The 9th here at Yankee Stadium, and the big story tonight has been the knuckleballer's Stephen Wright. And with the best night of his big league career, through 8 innings, he has thrown scoreless baseball, has allowed only 2 hits. He has baffled Yankee hitters all night long. And having thrown just 86 pitches, he's back out trying to finish it off. Didi Gregorius, Chase Headley, and Brett Gardner, 8, 9, and 1 scheduled for the Yankees. He's never been in any trouble. Castro hit a double, got as far as third, and then was thrown out trying to get back when he risked going home on a pitch that got away. Fly ball to center, 1 down.
You know, what's impressed me is how well Stephen Wright has pitched up in the strike zone with the knuckleball. He has routinely and intentionally attacked the top of the strike zone, but routinely got weak contact. He's got swing and misses up there. And I think because he believes by attacking the top of the strike zone, it's the best chance to consistently get strikes, but he's also in such a good groove with the pitch that he trusts the late movement in the pitch is going to throw off these hitters, and he continues what's been a brilliant start to the season tonight in the Bronx.
And when you watch out of his hand, this gives you a great look on the pitch. Look at the lack of movement, and the biggest thing as a hitter is you pick up the seams, Booney. You look for the seams. His seams don't move, and the seams are what tells you where this pitch is going to head. And when you see this ball out of his hand, it's that lack of movement that really doesn't tip off the hitter where it's going to go.
Ground ball to the right side of the infield. The shift is on, so an easy play for Bogaerts for out number 2. And the Yankees are down to their final out. It's been Stephen Wright and a whole lot of Boston power here tonight. Dustin Pedroia with a home run. David Ortiz has hit 2 home runs tonight. Both long home runs to right field, and then Xander Bogaerts has hit a home run as well, his second of the season. It has been a while since a Red Sox pitcher threw a shutout here at Yankee Stadium. There was one rain abbreviated 6-inning shutout, but a 9-inning shutout. Last time that's happened, John Lester, 2008. It has been a while. Stephen Wright has been outstanding this season, and even better than that tonight. His ERA, if he gets the next out without giving up any runs, will drop to 137 after 6 starts.
And this is the 4th time through the lineup. Normally as a hitter, okay, I'm struggling against this guy. What adjustments do I make? You have conversations with other hitters. There are no adjustments because every pitch is different. So it's not like, okay, I can move around in the box, or I'm going to wait, cut the plate in half. There's no adjustment mechanically that you can make to a knuckleball, this knuckleball pitch.
And a fly ball to deep right field, and that's going to spoil the shutout. Gardner with a home run, and it's 5-1.
Best thing that you can do is wait for a pitch to flatten out. Stephen Wright has not shown much of this at all tonight. We've shown the movement, we've shown the depth, but watch this pitch just stay flat. And that's exactly why when you see a pitch up in the zone like that you've seen so many of these Yankees hitters swing over the top of it, miss it, and this one stays right there for Brett Gardner to hit it out.
You know, Jess, I think that was a fastball that he follows up here with another 84-mile-an-hour fastball. We saw him strike out Aaron Hicks early in the game with a fastball. This one of the few fastballs. Gardner was ready for it, and he did not miss it. Now 3 in a row here as Ronald Torreyes gets an at-bat.
He's pinch hitting for Starlin Castro.
Keep an eye on Starlin Castro to see if he's in the lineup coming up in these next few days with the Yankees. Remember when he got picked off at third base, we showed him in the dugout kind of grimacing, talking to Tony Pena, and then even out at second base, he was kind of holding his side a little bit, like maybe he tweaked something. But Wright, I guess, just finishing things off with the fastball. He continues to pour him in there after that home run to Gardner.
That pitch gets away. Hannigan down to first. And the runner in time, and that's the ball game. It'll go as the 7th strikeout of the night for Wright. What a performance by him. The Yankees are saying hang on just a second. They might want to review this to see if Torres beat the throw down to first. And they've waved it off. They have decided not to. You'll get one more look at the replay, and you can see what the Yankees just saw. He's out. So that is your ball game. An outstanding performance tonight by Stephen Wright. A complete game, 3-hitter, as the Red Sox salvage the final game of the series with the Yankees and win by a score of 5-1. We'll see you again 1 week from tonight. We'll be at Dodger Stadium as the Dodgers host the St. Louis Cardinals. Dustin Pedroia, David Ortiz, Xander Bogaerts providing the power. Stephen Wright providing the pitching as the Red Sox subdue the Yankees 5-1. For Aaron Boone, Jessica Mendoza, and our entire Sunday Night Baseball crew, I'm Dan Shulman saying thanks for watching and so long from Yankee Stadium. It's time now for Sports Center at Night. Let's send you back to the studio with John Anderson and Steve Levy.